From the shadowed peaks of the Salt Lake Valley to the mist-covered banks of the Hudson Valley and all across the globe, the signal drifts through the night. This is Midnight Signals. Now, here are your hosts, Sergeant Shenanigator and Alien Mike.
Alien Mike, what's going on tonight, man?
Another day in paradise. What about you?
Oh, I'm just living the dream, ready to start talking about all this fun stuff tonight.
Oh yeah, I've been excited for this episode. That's for sure.
I have too.
It's been a rough one, as you know, being a little under the weather still. But
yeah, I heard.
I got quite a bit of research done, and wish I could have had more time to do more. But I think it's going to be very fun what we do have.
Oh, I think we've got enough tonight to scare a few people.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how have you been?
I've been doing good. Just working and researching this stuff, and that's about it.
Well, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice. Anything new on your end of the country? Or pretty much the same old for you, maybe?
Pretty much the same old, yeah. I know that we've had some warm weather, and
yeah,
it's wearing people out.
Yeah. And then how is there been any more news on the one building that we've discussed in our episodes before? I can't remember what it's called.
The Hudson Valley Psychiatric Hospital.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm sure there's got to be something out there.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering if maybe the heat could have had any play in it.
No, it wasn't. We weren't that hot when it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so, I know we've got a pretty good show, but I had a poll that was emailed to me today through our good friends over at Coast to Coast AM.
Oh yes, I haven't even looked at my email yet.
Yeah, this poll was done. It was actually released today. It was done by CBS News, and the very first question was, do you believe in UFOs or UAPs? Now, back in the 70s, the number was, probably down in the 30s or 40%. In 1997, that number had raised to 48%. 2017, it went up to 56%, and currently 63% of those polled say they do believe in intelligent beings from other planets. And there was no panic in this poll, like the government has always expected.
Yeah, that we're all going to just freak out, and nobody's going to know what to do, and the religious zealots are going to start storming the beaches, and yeah.
Oh. Welcome, Lilith.
Lilith, how's it going?
So, but the next question I found really, really eye-opening. Not for me, but it should be for the government, because they've always questioned, well, what happens if an alien race does visit us? So the question was, do you believe that humanity might have contact with intelligent life from other planets? 46% said, yeah, in the future. 33% replied never. But 21% just said, yeah, we already have.
Yep.
And even the question on how would you feel if we were visited, and the numbers were like 67% said, "Oh, I'd be curious. I'd love to meet an alien from another planet."
Oh yeah.
There was some nerves in there, a few scared, but 32% excited. So the numbers are growing.
Yep.
People are not where the government thought they were going to be.
No, like you said, they're not panicking. So people are either, you know, like I said, more people are finally accepting it, and the others are like, yeah, we already knew this.
Yeah. I know that name too. I believe that would be Mrs. Shenanigator.
Oh, well, hello.
It's good to see you here.
Yeah. So, what have we got tonight?
Tonight, we've got something that's near and dear to both of us and
1 second.
probably to a vast majority of people. We've got the disappearing Mike. It's
Yeah.
magic.
And he's
Oh,
back.
there he is.
I performed a magic trick for you guys.
Hey, Siegfried and Roy, watch out. We're coming for you. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Just had to grab my sweatshirt because sometimes I get a wee bit nippy and have to throw it on. But yeah,
So-
you said it right.
yeah.
This is kind of near and dear. Nadine,
Nadine,
welcome.
welcome.
Good to see you here.
Yeah, I know we both talked about this
Right.
without even having a show scheduled. We were just talking about this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you remember, I brought this up last year.
Yeah.
Probably, let's see, we started in August. It was November, December. I thought, man, this would make a good show. And then it just kind of got put on the back burner with all the new information and other things that were a little bit more interesting. But today it's kind of seemed to work.
Yep. So before I announce what we're going to talk about, not that we're worried about anybody out there, but just know that tonight's episode of Midnight Signal podcast is going to contain some discussions involving night terrors, sleep paralysis, PTSD, demons, shadow figures, paranormal experiences, and other disturbing subjects that some viewers may find unsettling. And by unsettling, I'm talking about the night terrors, the sleep paralysis, and PTSD.
Yeah. There's I know with a couple of the ones that I'm going to talk about, it's rather graphic in detail on some of the things. So just I know
know
the
you've been
people that,
warned.
yeah, the people that are in the chat now, I know they don't really mind, but it's to everybody else. Be aware.
And again, this is something that both Mike and I have suffered from, as well as a vast majority of people in the world. This is a very common occurrence. So we're going to be talking about sleep paralysis and night terrors.
Yep.
And you know that feeling, your eyes are wide open, you can see your room plain as day, you can hear everything going on around you, but you can't move. And then for some reason you notice there's someone or something in the room with you. Science calls this sleep paralysis, which is a neurological event tied to REM sleep, trauma, anxiety, PTSD, and it does bring about night terrors. And that's what we're talking about tonight is sleep paralysis and night terrors.
Yep.
We've got a few stories for you.
Yeah. Which am kind of curious on what stories you have. I know I kind of went with, surprisingly on this one, I went with the more scientific, I guess, version, what the psychology aspect of it. And I know you got the more paranormal aspect. So I'm kind of,
I didn't go paranormal. I went more of the, demons in the room stories.
oh, okay. So the ones that I have, I'm assuming they're going to be different than what you have because I went with,
I'm sure of it, unless you
real
talked to
cases.
my wife and she gave you permission to read that story.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm
So
sharing one from me and one from her, plus two other stories.
okay. Yeah, I've got like three or four like real life cases that I'm going to talk about on the night terror aspect. And then personal cases from me, sleep paralysis. So,
Yep.
All right. So night terrors and sleep paralysis. Steve, you pretty took his leave.
Yep, that is one of the stories. I'm
So,
not telling the demon story. I'm telling the gargoyle story.
all right. So I'm glad, just a little side note. I'm glad she wrote it that way because I don't know if anybody here has seen the TV program called Evil.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I believe it's the very first episode when the lady, she's got her house under the train track, she's sleeping, and then the demon just kind of hovers over her and she's looking at it and he just goes, "Well, hello." And then he starts peeing in the corner. And now every time I think of sleep paralysis, that's how I envision them looking, is that guy.
Wow.
I don't know why, but that just all right. So as you
So why don't
already
you tell us what sleep paralysis really is?
All right. So you explained it a little bit, but temporary state where you become conscious, but you're unable to speak. You're unable to move. Really, anything but your eyes is generally what happens, and it happens either as you're falling asleep or as you're waking up. During normal REM sleep, your brain generally relaxes temporarily and immobilizes all of your muscles so that you don't physically act out any of your dreams. But sleep paralysis occurs when your mind becomes awake before the paralysis has fully ended. So that's why you can look around, but you can't do anything about it. Excuse me. So people commonly report that they're unable to move, speak, or call for help. Feeling of pressure on your chest, and it's usually described as some. I'll have to catch. Um, as somebody either sitting on your chest or pushing down on your chest.
Yep.
Um, Difficulty taking deep breaths, intense fear or panic, and sensing a presence in the room. And then seeing, hearing, or feeling things that aren't actually there. So it says because of part of the brain is still in a dreamlike state, dream imagery can overlap with waking awareness. This can produce the vivid hallucinations such as shadow figures standing in the room, someone sitting on the bed, whispering footsteps or growling sounds, and feelings of being touched or pulled on. Many historical legends, including demons, ghosts, witches, and alien abductions, have been linked to sleep paralysis. So that's kind of in a nutshell what sleep paralysis is.
But yeah,
It's
that would be the
the
clinical side.
yeah the clinical side of it. Do you have a? I think you said or mentioned you might have a what paranormal side of it
I've
would be.
actually got quite a few. I've got the paranormal. I've got the old legends. Uh,
There,
so I
yeah.
just go through them real quick. Like in
Well, I know
Newfoundland,
what
you've got the
is
old
it.
hag.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Was that is like
Yep.
the most common one?
That is the most common. Newfoundland legend is the old hag that sits on your chest
Yep.
and holds you down. And depending on, it's not just Newfoundland. That's common across a lot of areas. But it just depends on where that particular legend comes from. She's sitting on your chest and forcing you to exhale so she can steal your soul. Did I freeze?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, not on
The
my
whole
end.
the whole screen wasn't even moving. You weren't moving. I wasn't moving.
I was just listening intently.
And then you've got the incubus or the succubus, which from medieval Europe, that's the demonic entities that visit you during sleep time. Of course, a big one in the Art Bell community and those of us that love ghosts, there's the shadow people.
Yep.
There's the jinn attacks, which is Middle Eastern tradition. So the jinn comes to you in your dream to attack you.
Oh, okay.
And then my favorite, and this is one a lot of UFO researchers talk about because it talks about paralysis. It talks about time not being able to control, and that's alien abductions.
Yep.
And what they've said about it is it's not just you're not seeing an alien, you're seeing what your mind is trying to see.
Yeah.
So while it could be a gray or one of the I, I I can't say it without chuckling anymore thanks to Hecklefish. But the lizard people.
Yep.
So they're saying that your mind's actually playing tricks on you and showing you something that you recognize rather than show something that just makes no sense to your brain.
Yeah.
So that's kind of along the paranormal aspect of it.
Yeah. I'm finding this episode is going to be really interesting because usually we're either on the same page or we're completely opposite. And I'm usually the one that goes down those weird holes that it's all voodoo and magic and ghosts and demons. And for some reason with this one, I went all scientific with it.
Yep,
So
I went down the rabbit holes on this one.
Yep. I'm
And
glad you
I
did.
think the only reason I went down the rabbit holes is because it is what's the word I'm looking for? Sleep paralysis and night terrors are the result. It's not the result of PTSD, but it is one of the effects of having PTSD,
Yeah.
especially for those who unfortunately had to experience combat. In
Yep.
their minds, that's the demon that is playing over and over
Yeah.
to a point where they don't see a shadow figure or a witch sitting on their chest. They actually see the battle taking place
Yep.
in their room, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. I'm glad it kind of worked out this way because last night and earlier this morning while I was researching, I'm sitting here going, how am I going to, with the podcast we do, it's just sleep paralysis and night terrors. How are we going to add or put these two together, But you actually got a really good view on it. So, excuse me, as far as night terrors, or, they're often called sleep terrors, episodes of intense fear that occur during sleep. Unlike nightmares, which happen during REM sleep and are usually remembered, night terrors occur during non REM sleep, which I've researched night terrors for a long, long time, and I had no idea that it was during non-REM sleep, and it's
Yeah.
often within the first few hours of falling asleep. And some of the common signs are suddenly sitting up or jumping out of bed, screaming, yelling, or crying, rapid breathing and racing heartbeat, sweating, looking terrified or confused, being difficult to wake or comfort, little or no memory of the event the next morning. Now, throughout my life, I've had more episodes of sleep paralysis than I can count. Like
Oh yeah,
it
I have
happens
too.
all the time. And I didn't know until doing research this time that suddenly sitting up or jumping out of bed, it doesn't happen anymore, but I used to have that happen at least once a week where I would jump up and start like panicking and I have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
And then everything like kind of comes to and I realize I'm not in bed.
See, I know that they're two separate things, but sometimes I am very thankful that I have the sleep paralysis and then the night terrors. Because I know when right before I joined the military and during basic training, I would jump up out of bed.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thankful. I don't like it. I don't like when it happens,
No.
but I'm thankful that I'm not jumping out of bed and swinging, and my wife just happens to be right there in the area.
Yeah. And that's something that I know I'm going to get into a little later in the episode. But yeah, I've never done anything that I know of that's bad, but I'll know that I jump up. And there's times that I've done it, like the second I wake up, I freak out and jump up and then have no clue what's going on. And then there's other times that I've been told that I jumped up freaking and no clue. So, and then I don't know if this is part of it. So maybe in your research, um, so years ago, my mom was telling me about this not too long ago. Years ago, when I was probably, it happened up until I was about 14. And my mom said that I used to wake up, or not even wake up. She would wake up with me standing next to her on the side of her bed, just hovered over her, staring at her. And then she would wake up and see me and then put me back in my room. I have no recollection of ever doing this, but she said I did it for years. I wouldn't say anything. I would just walk in, stand there, almost like if you've seen Paranormal Activity, the very first one where she stands up out of bed and she's just staring at her husband for hours. She says that's what I would do.
I'm
And
going to have I'm going to have to talk to Sakona and find out if my granddaughter still does that, because she did the exact same thing.
Really?
I'm sorry, Lilith. It's not a good feeling.
No, it's not. All right. Anyway, excuse me. So, still to this, day, they're not fully understood, but they can be triggered by things like sleep deprivation. I'm already having trouble talking today. Stress or anxiety, fevers or other illnesses. Certain medications can cause them. Irregular sleep schedules, and I've always had that. Family history of sleep disorders. They are most common in children between ages 3 and 12, but most children outgrow them. They can also occur in adults, though adult night terrors are less common and may be associated with stress, sleep disorders, or other underlying conditions.
Yes, uh, Mrs. Shenanigator, I believe I've apologized to you profusely for that over and over, and I will offer another apology here. I am very, very sorry.
I feel like it happens when Lilith, yeah.
That's when it happens the most.
Yep. Um, so there is a difference in night terrors versus nightmares. So in night terrors, it occurs during non-REM sleep. In nightmares, it's during REM sleep. Night terrors usually happen early in the night, and nightmares usually happen later in the night. Night terrors, the person is very hard to wake up, but in a nightmare, the person is generally very easy to wake up. Night terrors, they often have absolutely zero memory of anything that's happened, versus nightmares where you usually remember what happened in your nightmare. In night terrors, there are intense physical reactions. In nightmares, it is just frightening dreams. So that's the, as you said, the clinical definitions of what night terrors are. At least a million times.
I had to leave Facebook. Our live stream on Facebook just started playing while we were talking.
It just started, or has it been going?
No,
the whole time?
it's been unlike YouTube. It is dead on.
Honestly, I had no clue. I completely forgot that we were streaming live on.
Oh, that's right. We are streaming live on both YouTube and Facebook now. We finally made it over the 100 subscriber mark for Facebook.
Yes. And I've got to send a big thank you and shout out to, I believe it was your brother, because I had made the post and he messaged and said, "Oh, I've already got somebody." I sent somebody right away to do that. And so we went and got that. And then we got, I think that same person subscribed to the YouTube as well.
Yep.
I'm not sure who it was, but if you're watching, thank you very much.
So yes, thank you, David.
Yes.
Thank you for recommending us, and thank you to the subscriber.
Oh, there
You
you
guys
go.
are all awesome.
I can't believe I didn't. I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Thank you, David.
Yep, look at that.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David.
Except for it's repeating everything I say.
Thank you, David.
Very cool. That was awesome.
And soon for the nerds out there like my daughters, we will be on Twitch.
Yes. That I mean the next time, I think that'll be the next time that we go live.
Yep. The
It
next time
will.
we're live, we'll be streaming on 3 platforms.
Yep. And Twitch, I never got on it, but then there was 2 people that I followed that I've listened to their music for well over 20 years and started following them on Twitch and met a bunch of new friends, and they kind of turned me on to how Twitch works, and that there's a lot of people that don't use Facebook, that don't use YouTube or Instagram. So
Oh my goodness.
next to the new subscriber
That
in my wedding line.
that's who the new subscriber is. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. It just escapes me, but I know who you're talking about.
Well, either
So,
way, David,
thank you.
that we had posted for quite a while, but it was mainly, I think, to get people to follow YouTube, not even thinking, hey, go follow our Facebook so that we can get that last couple.
Colton, that was his name. Oh, and David just responded. So welcome to the chaos, Colton.
Yes, welcome. All right. So, with that excitement, yeah, I'm very happy. Be prepared that it'll be on any, all 3 platforms, and who knows, maybe in the future it'll be more.
Maybe. Anyway, we better get back to sleep paralysis and night terrors. We kind of just dug our own rabbit hole for a second.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that. But so another thing that it mentions is if anybody suffers from night terrors or any of the examples given, they say to consider seeing a doctor about it if it starts happening all the time. It's very frequent episodes, or they lead to injury or dangerous behavior. Then that's when you want to, seek medical advice, because I know some of the cases that I'll talk about they can end up bad.
Oh yeah. I don't have them that often anymore. I mean, maybe if I'm a routine, maybe one every 2 or 3 months. So it's not as bad as it used to be. But I ever since I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and realized what bad sleep could do, I bring all this stuff up to my doctor. So even if you think it's funny, bring it up to your doc. Just make sure.
Yeah. Then see, that's when I bring it up, the only thing I say to a doctor is, look, I don't sleep. Correction. The only time I do sleep is I'll sleep maybe a couple hours at night, but it's usually I'm up for like a week with hardly any sleep. And it gets to the point where it's like your body just gives up. You have no control over it. So with that being said, Sergeant, where do we head next?
Well, I know your stories differ from mine a little bit.
Yep.
So my stories will be kind of along the lines of demons or witches visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go ahead and start off with Mrs. Shenanigator's story.
All right.
And I know she's probably going to correct me here and there. I did take a few liberties with the story, but not many. All right. So during the time my wife was pregnant, we had a really nice apartment on the first floor. It was a regular German apartment, German bedroom. And there was absolutely nothing creepy about it. This was probably not a big paranormal area. So at the time, it was just my wife and I and our dog. I can't remember if we had the dog or not. She'll post it up there in a minute. So it was either just my wife and I, or my wife and I and our first dog together, Sparky. So anyway, she's pregnant, and she wakes up in the middle of the night one night, and there is chains holding her to the bed, and a gargoyle sitting on her chest. But everything, according to her, everything in the apartment was the exact same. I was where I was laying down, and she knows her eyes were open, but there's this gargoyle sitting on her chest. And no, not the stone statue gargoyle, an actual living gargoyle. Um, oh, all right. So there was a World War II bunker there. I don't think it had ever been used except by a few winos who snuck in to drink, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But okay, maybe there was some paranormal activity in the area. Anyway, it looked bat like, wings folded, and eyes that were looking straight into hers. And he was pulling on the chains as he was on top of her, tightening those chains down even more. So I can't remember exactly how she ended up coming out of this sleep paralysis, but to this day, she still swears 100% there was a gargoyle or a demon sitting on her chest, pulling chains down to a point where she was having problems breathing.
Wow. That I think that's kind of a common thing is the breathing. I know every episode I've experienced, it's like it said in the description, you cannot catch your breath. I mean, greetings, it's been a while.
Colin,
Well,
welcome.
hello, Colin.
Yes, it has been a while. It's been a while for me to be over and watch one of your shows.
Yet
I have got to
that
start
makes two
doing
of
that
us.
again. So, but welcome to our version of chaos for a while.
Yes, sir. But yeah, it almost every episode that I've read, every episode that I've had, it you just feel like you cannot breathe.
Yeah, that is, I think for me, that is the worst part, is
Yes.
feeling like I cannot breathe. But there's things going around that's jacking up your adrenaline in your mind.
Yep.
Or for real, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say whether you were doped up on the adrenaline before you finally jerked to wake up. Yeah, what Mrs. Shenanigator said is pretty much it for me. Um, although
Yeah.
I'll give my little hint. When I when I feel like it's sleep paralysis, I sometimes try and make sure that either my cheek or my tongue is between my teeth, and I'll just continue applying pressure until that pain finally wakes me up.
Yeah. One thing that I didn't mention about the sleep paralysis that I don't know if anybody out there that's watching has experienced it or have noticed this, but one of the things they say is if you sleep on your back. That's I've never had personally, I've never had an episode where if I'm on my stomach or side that I've had an episode of sleep paralysis. It's always if I fall asleep on my back.
For
And
me,
then
it's
that's
always if I fall asleep on my side, on the left side.
really, yeah,
Always.
because
If I'm on my back, I no issues.
yep. See, because I know with a lot of people that have sleep apnea when they're on their back. It's very hard for them to breathe.
Yep.
And I've never been diagnosed, but there's been times that, I'll be laying there and all of a sudden it's like, and I can't breathe. And then the more research I did, that was a very common thing, is if you're on your back. And as I thought back to it, that's every time it's happened to me. And that's when I get that feeling that somebody is on top of me.
Yep. For me, when it's on my side, and I mean, I sleep on my left side most of the time, so it doesn't
Mhm.
happen. It doesn't happen every single time, but if I'm on my left side, that's when it happens. And for me, it's one of the easiest. I'm not easy, but one of the ways I explain it is like there is something under the bed pulling a rope down, but the rope isn't across my arms; it's across my chest.
And they're just yanking down on it.
And they're just pulling and pulling and making sure I can't catch my breath.
Yeah.
And I have woke up and I've checked my chest because I know there's rope burns there, and there of course there's nothing.
Right. But it's frightening.
It is.
Um, yeah. See, I've always known that I've had them. I've had so many of them. But then as I did the research and then I started thinking about it, even to this day, if I fall asleep on my back, at least half of the time I'll have an episode like that. And it is damn. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my wife's story that she said I could share. So I'm not going to get in trouble for just talking out of turn and putting her
All
stories
right.
out there.
Well, I like that story. Let me pull up. I think it was this one. So this one's a rather quick one. So it's about a guy named Brian Thomas, and it's one of the most famous night terror cases. So Brian and his wife Christine were a Welsh couple who were vacationing in a camper van on it was the coast somewhere in Wales, and it was in 2008. Earlier in the evening, they had been disturbed by a group of young adults or teenagers, and it really got his anxiety going. I was sleeping on my back that day because I couldn't sleep on my belly anymore. 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was almost done with the pregnancy. It wasn't the
There you go.
beginning.
Yeah, seeing it's such a common thing now. I mean, of course, you don't sleep on your, it doesn't happen when you sleep on your back, but so many of them do, and I I haven't figured out why yet, why that would cause somebody. But anyway, so they had been disturbed by a group of rowdy teenagers, young adults, which made Brian extremely stressed and anxious. So that night, he and his wife had gone to sleep, and he started having a nightmare that, or technically a night terror, that somebody had come into the camper van and was on top of his wife and was strangling her to death. And so he jumped up and started, quote unquote, strangling the attacker. Well, then he came to and realized that it was him that was on top of his wife, and she wasn't moving. She had passed. And he immediately called the authorities to come and, you know, figure out what was going on, let them know what had
Yeah.
happened. And in the end, he was taken into custody, but then he was put into a sleep clinic, a sleep study clinic. And all of his doctors that he'd had growing up, because he had suffered with different sleep related occurrences or episodes throughout his whole entire life, in the end, they said he wasn't conscious. He had no clue what had happened, and he was let go, was found innocent. But that was just one example of, like how horrible it can be, you know, to have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, the very first episode that I had, or case that I had ever heard of it, was when I was a lot younger, and it was, I can't even remember the guy's name, and I couldn't find it, but he had left his house, walked somewhere, but they lived in a more, I'd say, wooded area, kind of like driving in between Poughkeepsie and across the river, you know, where you have all the woods and trees on the side of the freeway and all that. So
Yep.
he lived in an area kind of like that, and he woke up in the middle of the woods, completely covered in blood, and had a butcher's knife. What happened is he had a night terror, went up the street, killed an elderly couple, and then fell asleep again. Thought he was back home, but I guess fell asleep in the woods and woke up and realized what he had done, or what it, you know, was going on, and called the police, and they ended up letting him off as well because he had no clue.
Wow. Yeah, it's not something to play with, and it can be pretty scary. That's why I said I'm thankful I get the sleep paralysis first. I can't
Yeah,
imagine just waking up in that dream state.
no,
And I know this is not night terrors, but it kind of is. A lot of people that take Ambien are doing the same thing. Yeah, it's
so I'm
and
so
Ambien is
glad you
not
brought that up.
causing night terrors, but it is the exact same
It's
thing. You don't
it's
know
the
what's
same thing.
going on.
So everybody here knows that I'm an addict. Had been for years, and because of my insomnia, I was never prescribed Ambien, but I had friends and family that had it. So every once in a while I would take it. And the one thing that I was always told was never ever take it and not go to sleep. And oh, correction, I actually was at the very end, and I didn't even finish the prescription. They said, do not take it and then stay awake. Make sure you're tired, take it and go right to bed, because that's what will happen. And I didn't believe it. I thought, oh, that they're full of crap. Of course, they're doctors. They don't know what they're talking about. And I took it and came to at a friend's house and had no idea how I got there.
Wow.
And that was the last time I ever took it.
I can see that.
It, I mean, it was in the height of my addiction. So I was going to the friend's house to get stuff. But I remember thinking about it before I even took it, like, oh, I need to get stuff. I'm going to go to their house later. And then decided not to, and then came to at their house. All right. I
Sorry,
mean,
I was looking at something at the same
no,
time.
you're totally fine. I'm trying to.
So yeah, the only difference I've heard is the people with the night terrors can remember the terror. The people that are on Ambien very seldom remember point A to point B or from here to here
Yeah.
or
On
ordering
the
all sorts of
Ambien.
weird stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. The I don't remember how I got where I got, and that happened more than one time on Ambien. You don't remember at all, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden you're sitting somewhere and you're like, what am I doing? And then
yeah,
you realize, oh shit, am I here doing this? And then like, dude, you've been here for X amount of time, and we've been having conversation. You don't remember it. It's
yeah. But with the night terrors, it never makes sense what you're remembering, but you remember.
yeah, it's
And I can imagine, waking your mom, yeah, your mom, waking her up and listening to the story she's telling because it's very vivid the minute you wake up. You may not
yeah.
remember it a day or two later, but it is very vivid at that moment.
All right, so that's whose turn is it now? Is it you or me?
It is
I'm
me. No,
okay.
it is me. So this one is a common one as well, and this is the woman in the corner. And I pulled this one off of Reddit, and yeah, I know it's hard to believe that there's actually a Reddit thread out there on sleep paralysis and night terrors, but there is.
Oh,
Oh no,
oh
wait,
yes.
there's threads on everything.
Okay, so I'm curious. Yeah, there is. I thought you were serious for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, yeah, there
No,
is. Of course.
no, I was being slightly sarcastic there.
All right. Well, I completely missed that, but yeah, I've got a few stories from there as well. So go
Oh,
ahead. What have you
but
got from Reddit?
to do justice for her, I'm going to read it as she wrote it. She's a nurse in Chicago, and after several double shifts and almost no sleep, she woke around 3 a.m. unable to move. She saw a woman standing in the corner of her bedroom. At first thought, she thought it was a shadow, but then the woman smiled. The woman was extremely tall, nearly touching the ceiling. Not her shadow, the actual person. She had long black hair, which covered most of her face, but the mouth stretched impossibly wide. The figure slowly tilted its head back, then began running towards the bed. Not walking, running towards the bed. The nurse said she tried screaming for her boyfriend, but could only make choking sounds as the figure lunged onto the bed. Then everything just suddenly stopped. The room returned to normal except for one thing. Her boyfriend woke up and asked, "Why were you laughing?" She insists that she wasn't laughing. He claims she was laughing a very evil, sinister laugh the whole time.
Dang.
So yeah, the woman in the corner is probably about 30 to 35% of the reports. No, well, maybe not a woman, but someone in the
Somebody
corner.
in the corner.
Yeah,
Yep.
it could be a woman, could be a man, but it's never a shadow person at that point. It's actually a clearly visible. I don't know if I'd call him a person, but somebody that resembles a person.
Yep. I'm okay. Well, I don't have the ones that I was going to do on that. So I was reading Reddit on my phone and had screenshotted the ones that I was going to talk about, and now I can't find where they're at. So
Well, and we've got the rest of Lilith's story here. It's the old hag story.
she said the old hag was on her chest and said, "You want?" Yeah, that is I've never had an episode of sleep paralysis where anybody has said anything.
I have.
I've been the worst case, and Steve, I know I had told you this at one point, but I remember at the other house I lived in here in West Jordan, I was probably 14 or 15. And I remember that, only being able to move my eyes, and I could kind of turn my eyes to the right, and I saw we had a big white Samoyed dog. And I could see somebody in the room in the corner, and I kind of glanced over what I could, and I saw this dog running in with what looked like blood all over her face. And right when she came running in the room and jumped is when I sat up in bed and realized, oh shit, this is freaked the hell out of me. Right when I did that, I turned over and our dog came walking in the room and jumped on the bed just to lay down with me. And that's like the worst thing that's ever happened as far as a sleep paralysis episode for me.
Ah, that all the sleep paralysis and night terror stories, they freak me out regardless of how minor or major they are.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, mine was pretty minor. But
Yeah.
then you start listening to other people's stories and you're like, wow, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter minor or major. This is creepy.
Yeah. Like the one Lilith just said, that,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm used to having these episodes all the time. It's creepy every time. It scares the hell out of you every single time. But when you're just laying there and you're seeing somebody standing above you, or you're having trouble breathing, or you're seeing somebody in the corner, that's one thing. But it scared the heck out of me to think my dog was coming in to kill me, and then the second I woke up, the dog comes running in the room.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
And I'm
coincidence.
surprised you weren't up on the headboard or holding on to the ceiling fan.
Yeah. So an interesting note about this, there's for a book club that I'm in, we did a book called John Dies at the End. In the movie and in the book, he's one of the characters is talking to the main character and says, "How does your brain know?" He goes, "In your dream, you were hearing all these loud explosions, and it was thunder that was happening in the real world. How did your brain know to sync those two at the same time and wake up right then?"
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, how did my brain know that, all of a sudden my dog in this episode was coming in to attack me, but the second I woke up, the dog was coming in to the room? Like, how does it's really weird to me.
So, and Colin, the little bit of research I've done on insomnia and sleep paralysis, I'm thankful you don't have it, because the people with insomnia and the sleep paralysis and the night terrors have the absolute most horrific stories I've heard.
Yeah. And I've got insomnia, and I think that, I mean, that's a big cause of not of having night terrors, sleep paralysis. When you're so sleep deprived, it can cause that to happen.
Yeah.
And like nightmares don't bother me at all. Just having a
No,
nightmare.
no.
I I was telling someone earlier today, I actually look forward to nightmares. Like, cuz they're
You never
just
know
the
if
way
it's
your
going to be
brain
the next
works.
great horror movie.
Yeah, like Stephen whoa, my computer screen went completely gray again.
Yeah, your screen on this one went blank up, and Mike will be back with us shortly.
Oh, I can still hear you guys.
Oh, it says you're gone.
It says your recording has stopped. Something went wrong.
Yeah. Okay, now Mike will be back. So, and Lilith, I don't need to hear the voice, because in my mind I actually read that in the voice. I'm sure it's not the exact same voice, but my hair stood up just reading the story with that voice in my mind. Oh, and Mike should be back shortly, unless of course Alien Blorp has taken over his computer one more time. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Alien Blorp does have him, or the NSA finally found out where he lives. So, uh, while we're waiting for Mike to come back, rather than just sit here in silence, I can go ahead and tell the next Reddit story that I found. And this one's common, a common character in night terrors in the Appalachian area of West Virginia. Hold on one second. Alien Mike is calling me. Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm looking at you guys right now.
Yeah, you just got a black screen,
Yeah,
but it's on here saying that you're here.
yeah, I have no idea why I have no screen at all.
Huh, that's interesting.
Like, tell me if you can see this. Unable to access microcam.
No, all I've got is Alien Mike's devices are not accessible. You may have to log completely out of Riverside and log back in.
I did already. Let me keep talking.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell a story. Alien Mike is working on it, and yes, Alien Blorp has struck again. So anyway, this is the story. I got this off of from. I put it together from several Reddit stories, and this is the Breath Stealer. That's actually what he's called in the coal mine areas of West Virginia, and they feared it deeply in the early 1900s. The stories claim that exhausted workers sleeping after long shifts would awaken paralyzed while a black humanoid figure crouched on their chest. And they actually, unlike some people, they actually reported the smells. They said it was a very, very heavy sulfur smell. They did have difficulty breathing. They would hear whispers, and they would hear boots dragging outside of their cabins. They would also hear claws being drug across the walls. One account described a miner firing a revolver at the entity after breaking free from the paralysis. Um, the next morning, his family reportedly found bullet holes in the ceiling directly above the bed, but no intruder was ever found. The miner did refuse to sleep indoors afterwards, fearing that he was going to do something even worse and hurt or kill somebody the next time. Um, Years later, when he died, his last words were him muttering, "It's standing behind the door." So, yeah, these things, they're called different things all across the country, and it it can be terrifying. And Alien Mike hasn't joined us again, so I will just tell one more story and see what happens with Alien Mike. So I'm still getting warnings that his devices are not accessible. So anyway, my last story is my story. And luckily, this has only happened to me once. And it happened probably about a year before we made the move to New York. And I'm sure my wife remembers trying to wake me up from this. As when she finally did wake me up, the very first thing she asked is, "Are you okay?" And I didn't tell her the story. I just said, "I'm fine," and went back to sleep. But I woke up uh, early AM, and it was the standard thing. I felt a pressure on my chest. Something was pulling me down into the bed. But this time I noticed that there was 8 or 10 shadows lined up along the wall in my room. And it was like the shadows were standing there staring at me. Uh, oh, and Alien Mike came back.
Sorry, I have no idea what happened. I'm used to one of us, the whole screen goes gray, like the whole desktop.
Oh
Oh my.
yeah, it flashed green and then it went black.
Yeah. But I was sitting here the whole entire time listening to you guys' conversation, listening to
So,
everything you were saying, watching you. And then I had to do an update on my computer apparently.
oh
So
geez.
I apologize to everybody. I hope it doesn't mess it up.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish my story,
Yeah.
and then I will turn it over to you.
Okay, I'll just continue pulling up my stuff now.
So, yeah, 8 or 10 shadows along my wall. They were about human size, about 5'10" to 6 feet tall, and in my mind, the shadows were staring at me. And the more I struggled, the tighter what I perceived as a rope across my chest would get. And my wife said I was shaking, but I wasn't like moving. I was just kind of trying to fight whatever was there, but I was not moving. So she could feel me shake, and that was it. And in my mind, this went on for about an hour, but I'm sure it was more like just a few seconds. And at the end, rather than waking myself up normally by biting the inside of my cheek or my tongue to get myself out of it, this one played out all the way. And the last thing that happened was I felt the ropes starting to loosen. And I don't know if one of the shadow people along the wall actually said this or if I just heard the voice, but the voice just simply said, "Not time." And I woke up. And that has always bothered the hell out of me. Not time for what? So,
Hmm.
and
Can,
no, if nothing goes wrong, Colin, if everything goes right,
why can I
we
not?
stop and start over.
So can you still see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see where I wrote so sorry about that?
No.
Okay, I wrote, so sorry about that. I'm trying to go back to, because it says studio chat and I
Hold
can't
on,
get,
let me check the actual chat.
it says I'm in studio chat, host, producers, guests, but let me try and refresh. Give me 1 second.
Hey, Mike, you put it in our studio chat just between you and I.
I know it's not letting me go back to, like, I can't click back to go back to the regular chat. Like, I have no access to even, like, the little back arrow when you hit.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
since you can hear me, that's all that matters.
yeah, can everybody out there hear Alien Mike?
I sure hope. I sure hope so. Or
I mean, I can hear you fine.
Yeah. So I assume they can. I tried to even jump on our Facebook Live, but it was, I don't know if it's glitching or what, but it just keeps going. Uh, 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 uh,
Interesting.
It was repeating the same thing over and over.
Huh. Have to check that out.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me and see me? I see that there's new.
My wife just hollered upstairs. Yes.
Okay, because I see that new people are chatting, but I just can't go back to see what they're saying. So
Well, I'll
oh well.
get them. I'll get them up there for you. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize I completely spaced that. Yeah,
No,
everybody's saying they can hear you.
okay. It's just weird because before all that crap happened, I was watching the chat. So I think that leads me to a very interesting case. If you're done with your story, Steve.
I am done with my stories. While you were gone, I knocked out 2 more.
Oh, look at that. You're a real go-getter. Well, I'm just sitting back yelling at my computer, running
Hey,
around my room.
I've been on your side too.
Oh yeah, going, what the F? My effing computer just crashed, screaming and yelling. All right, so this one is about a guy named Albert Jackson Terrell. So Terrell was born in Weymouth, Massachusetts, married, had a quote unquote loving wife and 2 children, but he was known to be very unfaithful. So in 1845, he left his wife to be with a prostitute who was living in a Boston brothel by the name of Maria Ann Bickford. And they fell in love and supposedly lived together while they were lived together as if they were married. And he wanted her to quit being a prostitute. She never did. She kept up the lifestyle, wanted to keep the money coming in. And excuse me. And then on October 27th, 1845, he alleged to have visited her bedroom after that evening's last customer, or John, had left, and using a razor, he slit her throat from ear to ear so brutally bad that he almost decapitated her. He allegedly set 3 fires to the brothel to, they think, cover up the evidence, to try to hide what he had done, I guess. And the fire, it awakened the store owner, or the brothel owner, and he discovered the body of Maria and then called the police. Several people had witnessed him going into the building and then out of the building, but nobody witnessed him actually committing the act. So then they opened up a big, huge manhunt for him. Couldn't find him for a while, and then somehow found him in Louisiana, in New Orleans. And then they extradited him back to Boston and, put him on trial. And see, where is the guy's name? Rupert? Sorry, give me 1 second to find it. I know who it is. I just can't think of his name. Rufus Choate, who was a Boston attorney and then worked in politics in some way. But anyway, they put him on trial and said that he was sleepwalking. He had no idea what he did. Although there was no evidence that proved that he was sleepwalking. There were, the evidence that there's all these fires that were set to supposedly cover up the evidence, with how bad she was brutally murdered. He basically said, oh, she committed suicide. That's how she did it. And I mean, to completely almost decapitate yourself, I think that would be pretty hard to do. Hard to do yourself. But in the end,
Um,
what was that?
I've had this kind of stuff before, but I can't even imagine waking up and doing something like that to myself.
No, no.
That's
And it just, I don't know. As I read more and more about this, and then I started watching videos on it, it just doesn't seem like he didn't know what he was doing. But it was the most famous case of sleepwalking and something like this, or night terrors and something like this happening. But he got off. Like he didn't get
very interesting.
Didn't get in any trouble for it. But he was also under scrutiny, getting charged for adultery, which, as you know, was against the law. And they kind of suspected that he did it hoping to get away from getting in trouble for that. But in the end, they got him off, and that was the end of it.
Wow.
So that's where it became like the first and most well-known case of somebody actually going to trial and being convicted of murdering someone in their sleep, or while being asleep and murdering someone and getting away with it.
Now I know there's this funny rule in the military. It's called the 10-second rule or the 5-second rule, depending on who you ask. And if you wake somebody up and they swing at you or they do anything, grab a gun, there's 5 seconds in time that you're not responsible for. And
Yep.
I've looked through the UCMJ. It's really not there. But I can't imagine with what some of the veterans or some of the current serving senior military are going through. They go out to the field and somebody comes in. They're in the middle of night terrors, reliving Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever. And this poor young private comes walking in and says, "Sergeant, can you wake up?" But there actually has been a few cases in the military where the court martial has said you were not responsible for your action because of your these issues. They didn't come out and say night terrors or sleep paralysis, but one of them was during Vietnam, so of course it was due to being shell shock. We're going to go ahead and excuse you for this assault or this whatever. So there have been a few that have gotten away in the military too.
Oh yeah,
but not many.
It's just, I mean, that. Let me go back to this other one.
Oh, we got Spooky Rights with us.
Spooky, what's going on? If you just joined, I can't see the chat. My computer's being hijacked by Blorp in the NSA.
That stupid Blorp.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say it now. That little Blorp icon on the screen that looks like a bell, smash Blorp. Tell him you're getting tired of him taking our computers.
It is getting annoying.
And also, if you smash Blorp, it will notify you when our next videos drop too. Yep. But it's mostly just taking out frustration of Alien Blorp doing this to Alien Mike.
Yeah, it's me that it's happening to, which I don't know why it's happening right now. I don't get that. I mean, I'm used to
I'll
when
be honest with you. I've got the door shut up here, and there's no AC coming into this room. I'm surprised my hard drive hasn't overheated
correct.
yet.
Yep. Well, I usually keep everything up to date. Everything, I every time I close my computer down, if it says you need to update it, I do that and then shut it down. And when I turned it on, there was no updates. Everything was perfect. I'm used to having the screen go gray for a sec and then coming back, but it went gray. My image went gray, but I could see and hear everything else, which usually doesn't happen.
Wow.
And
I
I'm
mean,
still,
I could hear you,
yeah,
but yeah, your screen was just black on our end.
that's so weird. So, kind of going along the same lines, but a little bit different. As I'm sure you've seen, there's been a lot of people that have been tried for all sorts of heinous crimes, and they use oh, I'm criminally insane, so I
Oh,
had
the
no idea.
insanity plea. Yep.
Yep. I suffer from sleep problems, so I had no idea. So that leads to the Scott, I think you say it, Fallater, Falater case. Um, it was another case of homicide during sleepwalking. So on the night of January 16th of 97 in Phoenix, Scott's wife, Yarmila, was found dead outside their home. According to the prosecutors, he had stabbed his wife dozens of times, dragged her body to the family swimming pool, held her underwater, changed clothes afterwards, hid evidence, including a bloody knife and the clothing. A neighbor had reportedly witnessed part of the attack and called the police. He later admitted that, yes, he did kill his wife. The hosting platform updates at random times. It can be frustrating. Yeah. So he later admitted that he did kill his wife, but he claimed that he had no conscious awareness of doing it. His defense argued that he was experiencing a rare episode of violent sleepwalking, sometimes called homicidal somnambulism. They brought in sleep experts that testified that sleepwalking occurs during non-REM sleep. Complex behavior can occur while a person remains largely unconscious. In extremely rare cases, people have performed surprisingly complicated actions while asleep, but considering everything that he did and having no history of it in his past, they basically said, you're full of shit and you did this. And you're trying to come up with whatever excuse you can so you don't get locked up. So that went on until 99 when he was convicted of first degree murder, sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Ugh. So, I mean, you get cases where, like Brian, where you think you see something, you're already stressed and anxiety and have a history of night terror, sleepwalking, sleep paralysis, and something happens, you have no idea, and you have legitimate reasons to why such and such would have happened. But then you have others like this guy who just use whatever excuse they can just so they don't get locked up.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to use that defense because that is a defense.
Exactly. Oh, 100%.
But yeah, there are several people like I'm sure if I did something stupid and took somebody's life, I could go, "Hey, I have sleep paralysis. I have night terrors, and I have sleep apnea, and
Mhm.
it's difficult for me to sleep, and so I could find a doctor that would agree with me." So yeah, you got to be very careful in trying those cases to make sure you get it right.
Oh, yeah. And the last one that I had was the case of Kenneth Parks. And it was a, a big controversy surrounding what happened with him. Um, in the very early morning hours of May 24th, 1987, Kenneth, Kenneth, a 23-year-old Canadian man, he got up from being asleep, drove approximately 14 miles to his in-laws' home, attacked them, beat his mother-in-law so bad she died, and then severely injured his father-in-law. Afterwards, he drove to a police station covered in blood, and I think he had a tire iron, and he reportedly told the officers that he thinks he killed someone but didn't know who it was. Why the investigators believe that he really suffered from it is because he had a documented history of sleep disorders and a family history of parasomnias. He had no known motive to kill his in-laws, and he was considered to be, oh yeah, he was considered to be very close to them, and that he was under severe stress due to gambling debts that he had occurred, and he owed quite a bit of money. And apparently 2 days before this happened, he was going to go tell them what was going on, and to ask for help, to see if they could help him pay off some of these debts so that he wouldn't be in any more trouble. And in the end, he got off, but it just, there was something about it, that how everything led up, that he drove so far, he did what he did, then drove to a police station, but had these debts and was going to tell his in-laws about it, and then all of a sudden they just were murdered. Something didn't seem to add up to me, but in the end he was proven to be innocent, had no conscious recollection of actually doing it. So, but that was the last case that I had.
Every one of those cases are fascinating, and
They are, and
it's just hard. It's not hard for me to believe, but it's harder for me to believe that our bodies and our brain can do that without us actually knowing.
yeah, it's it's definitely weird. They're absolutely fascinating, and the one case that I had mentioned earlier that I wish I could find, I've tried to find it for so long. Um, that's what really got me fascinated in night terrors is, could this really happen? Could you, quote unquote, wake up but not be awake, go to a neighbor's house, kill the old couple, wake up in the woods across from where they live, covered in blood, holding a knife, and really have no clue what you did,
Yeah.
and be completely sober, no drugs or alcohol, so you weren't under the influence of anything. Could this really happen?
If you'd have asked me this, uh, before we started researching for this show, I'd say there's no way. But then my wife reminded me that the one time she tried to wake me up, and I woke up swinging.
Yeah.
I mean, not just hey, get away from me and pushing her. I woke up swinging.
Yeah, like legitimately trying to hurt someone because you don't
Yeah.
know. And
So I had completely forgot about that until she brought it up.
yeah, I mean, well, the first case that I brought up, there's, of course, he's under a lot of stress and the anxiety, and if you already have a history of any type of mental illness, that can be very triggering. But to be dreaming that somebody is attacking your wife, and your brain really thinks that, and so you step up and try to stop it, not realizing that nothing's going on, that it's essentially you that's doing it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like I mean, throughout that case and afterwards, his kids stood by him the whole time and knew that he suffered with these episodes and had his whole life, and a lot of people expected his daughters to completely shun him. But if I was him, I know that would be extremely difficult to live with, knowing that it was out of your control and you essentially killed your wife and had no idea you were doing it.
Yeah. While we were talking, I happened to remember a story from back when I was down in Georgia, and it involved an Atlanta police officer Oh, I mean, everybody. It doesn't matter what profession they're in. Where everybody's hurt for money.
Oh yeah.
So he was pulling every shift he could get. He was working side gigs if he could get them,
Hmm.
and sleep deprivation finally got the better of him. And he went to bed one night and attempted suicide in his sleep. His police firearm was in the nightstand, and luckily he got injured, but he missed. And he says he cannot remember what was going on, why he drew the gun, and why he tried to shoot himself.
Yep. It's just, I think a key factor in a lot of these cases are stress.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had trouble with sleeping. Like, I can sleep anywhere once I'm able to sleep. It doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm able to sleep. I mean, when I stay with you, I can sleep on that mattress just fine. Not a problem. At my house, 90% of the time I'm on the floor because of my back and hip, and it's just fine. So it doesn't matter where I'm at, but it's that getting to sleep point. And I know from years of having insomnia, when you want to go to sleep because you're so tired, but you can't, the anger you can feel, the stress, the anxiety because you physically cannot get to sleep, I'm sure that can cause people to do a lot of crazy shit.
Oh yeah. And you know, I will never downplay these sleep paralysis or night terrors.
Yep.
They have some cool demon stories and they have some great legends. But if you're having this issue, please talk to your doctor.
Yes.
Once in a while, it's going to happen. Your body's going to do that to you. But if it's reoccurring,
Yeah.
go
Well,
talk to your doc. Get
yeah.
checked out.
Well, like I said earlier, when I was describing it, it's usually kids, between like 3 and 12. People usually grow out of it. Um, I know it lasted longer for me.
Yeah, I don't know how many times we got the story from Sakona that our granddaughter would, she's in bed, Sakona's in bed, and the next thing you know, there's our granddaughter just staring at Sakona,
Yeah,
staring down at her.
just the same
And
exact thing that I did.
unfortunately, you know our granddaughter, you know what she looks like.
Hmm.
She was described as Chucky. Even had the Chucky eyes when she was staring at Sakona.
Ooh, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I was never that I recall like formally diagnosed with having night terrors, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, insomnia, any of that. But another thing my mom told me besides doing that was my mom and dad would say, because I always had a habit of falling asleep in the family room, which is on the main level of our old house. And my dad would, or mom would come and say, "Hey, get up, go downstairs to your room." And I would walk to the stairs, but I wouldn't like step down. I would just keep walking to the basement stairs. And so I would just go all the way down the stairs, just face plant. And I would get up, look at him or her, and walk to my bed. Didn't say a dang thing to him. Had no clue. They said I did that so many times. Like they they thought I was going to seriously injure myself. So I don't know if I was in just such a deep sleep at that time or what, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any of it.
So, I mean, I love the stories. That
Hmm.
maybe not the murder stories, but the demon, the witch, the old hag, the woman in the corner. I love those stories. They're fascinating. But again,
Right.
if you're having this happen, I finally caved and got checked out, and I know what causes mine. And with some medication, it's been a while since I've had it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if you, like you said, if you have anything that happens like that, seek help in some form.
Yep.
So, I mean, like we said earlier, I was texting somebody before our meeting, and nightmares, I look forward to them. I was prescribed when I probably about, I want to say about between 12, 15 years ago, um, a drug called trazodone, which can, the main use for it is people that have really bad anxiety, and the anxiety keeps them up and prevents them from sleeping. It helps to calm that so you can sleep. But talking to one of my best friends who was on it as well at one point, they cause extreme nightmares. And I used to look forward to it because I wasn't like waking up terrified or scared. It was like waking up going, holy shit, I just watched the coolest horror movie. You know, it was exciting what your brain was putting together.
Yeah.
But
That's actually one of the medications I'm on right now is trazodone.
is it for the same thing? For like
Yes.
anxiety to help sleep? Yeah.
Yep.
And does it work
But
okay for you?
it works good. It the nightmares. This is going to sound so stupid, but I'm like you. I love the nightmares, and the trazodone helps me stay asleep through the whole thing.
Yes. So the other thing that I have noticed with me when I was on it is I would, if I did not go right to sleep after taking it, if I stayed up, I would get extremely hungry, and I would go upstairs to get something to eat, but you're so out of it that I would, like that feeling when you're about to faint, like everything kind of slowly goes black. And then I would just collapse on the ground. And that's what made me like really stop taking it, because I couldn't always go right to sleep. So I would faint constantly. But I loved having the dreams on it.
Oh yeah. And Colin, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Now you've got me curious.
Can you put that back on the screen? I didn't get to read it
Absolutely.
all. Didn't sleep hygiene practices in the past? I'm not sure if it can be applied. Sleep hygiene practices. I have no idea what that is.
So I will
gonna,
look into that.
I am doing the same thing. Sleep hygiene practices involves
Actually,
consistent routines.
I can answer that already. Yes, to maintain a good sleep-wake schedule will
Yep.
help sleep paralysis a lot.
Yep. I was just reading about that just now. So one thing that I have tried is they say, like, for one, if you go to bed and you lay there and you're the type that just lays there for hours like I am and you can't sleep, they say what you do is you go to bed. If you do not fall asleep within 15 minutes, you get up and go do something else in another area of the room or the house. I can't even see what he's typing, and that's exactly what I just said.
Yep.
And then once you feel tired, go back to your room, try to sleep, and if 15 minutes, go do it again. But most people don't want to do that because they want to go to sleep. So the last thing they want to do is get up and go do something else. But hell, you're not even sleeping. So, I mean, the last few days I've been reading, which I have a hard time doing at night. See, I've tried that, Colin, and it's such a hard habit to break. But it's funny because I was just telling my dad about this the other day. There was a gal that I just read about on Reddit. She said she got rid of her smartphone, so she only uses like an old Nokia flip phone. So that way she can't sit and scroll. She keeps her computer and everything in another room of the house, does not take it to her bedroom, and her TV, she doesn't have one in the bedroom. So that way, the only time she can do social media is if she gets up and goes to the computer, which she doesn't want to do. Nobody wants to constantly go back and forth. And, she sticks to those practices. And in the last year and a half, it's completely changed her life. But
Yeah. I would love to keep the phones and devices out of the bedroom, but I will be honest, I have muted the world except for my immediate family.
I
My
mean, pretty much.
parents, my daughters,
Yeah.
the rest of the world is muted. That phone does not ring or vibrate.
Yep. I I have tried not having a TV in the room, and I can't. I used to, growing up, there was a period where I could not have any sound. I had to be in complete silence. But now, if it's
Yeah,
complete silence, my brain just keeps going, and I'm wondering what's going on out in the outside world. I'm just constantly thinking.
yeah.
So now I always have a TV going.
I've I've actually slept with I don't know why my warped brain looked for this. Uh, but I went and I found a YouTube channel of nothing but static, like the old static you get on the TVs,
Yep.
and I can turn that on and go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Colin, that's a hard thing to do, and it's. I need to reset and stop it. Yep, Nadine. But yeah, Colin, it's like I was saying earlier. That study said if you don't sleep within, give yourself X amount of time, and I think they said 15 minutes, but whatever is appropriate for you. And then if you don't sleep, leave the room, go do something else. If you're not sleeping anyway, it doesn't matter. So to make it so when you go to get in your bed, your body knows it's sleep time. I mean, my dad, literally within 15 seconds of hitting the bed, he's out. But I will go to bed. I usually get in bed, bed around 9 o'clock at night, and I don't fall asleep until probably 3 in the morning.
Uh, I used to be like that, and I don't know what's changed, but now I'm out 20 minutes after I hit the bed.
I wish I could. I mean, honestly, I think the best time I sleep is when I come to New York and stay with people because we're out doing things.
Yeah.
So when we come in, and yes, as you know, I'll have my computer, I'll put on a movie really quiet, and then I'm able to go to sleep. I never even get halfway through. I'm able to go to sleep, but that's the only time I've have that happen. Other than that, I am up all the time.
So I'm gonna look more into
I am too.
more of sleep hygiene and
God damn it! I wish I could see all the text.
yeah, I know I tried and I'm sure it just takes time, but I have tried to go to sleep during a power outage and it's so dark and so quiet I can't.
See, the dark. It's weird because the dark doesn't bother me at all. I like the dark, but it's the complete silence
Well,
that
I'm
really
I'm
gets.
okay. I'm okay with the dark. I mean, the dark is never a problem,
Yeah.
but when it's dark and silent, that's
Then
when I
it's
can't do it.
yeah.
And
It's
that's the time I usually get up, look over at the arterial, and complain that there's no traffic there.
you
Where the
know
hell are all
I
the
am
cars? Come on, I need to sleep. Honk a horn.
yeah. See, and that's weird too because out the window here, we have people that drive up and down the street, loud as shit, annoying. The dude that lives right here is constantly blaring his speakers in his car, which they annoy me now. And now I know how my neighbors felt when I had mine. So it gets really annoying and I can't sleep. But yet, if I stay with you, I sleep just fine with the noise out on the road.
Yeah, I honestly think that I got it, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, he's going to talk military." No, I think I got it from driving truck.
Mhm.
I did a lot of refrigerated work, so I constantly had that refrigerated unit
Going.
on. You know, if we were hauling strawberries, there it was nonstop.
Yep.
Or you know, if we had frozen, it was nonstop.
Yeah. The reefer's
I just got
constant.
so used to all the noise, and you know, truck drivers they
Reefers are
don't want to
loud.
park in quiet neighborhoods.
Yep.
So we're in a truck stop with 3,000 other trucks that are idling and honking a horn and yelling at the lot lizards as they go by. So I just got used to sleeping with traffic and noise everywhere.
On the next episode of Midnight Signals podcast, lot lizards. I need
Lot
some
lizards.
noise. TV, low volume, but something I've seen a million times, so I don't need to pay attention. Golden Girls is perfect for it. Mama Shenanigator, that or Mrs. Shenanigator? Yeah.
Mrs. Shenanigator.
I always
Mama
get the two.
Shenanigator's back there with you in Utah.
Yeah, that's right. But I've noticed I do that too. If I find a show that I want to watch, I'll put it on and I sit there, like, for example, X-Files. I'll put it on and I want to pay attention to the episode so I notice I'm up the whole time. So I have to put on something like The Simpsons or something I've seen 1,000 times.
Yep.
And it's usually something like Home Improvement where I already know what's going on. It just is distraction in the background.
I thought I had a cool plan because I thought, you know, people will tell me, don't ever watch this show. It sucks. So I thought, well, I'll put that on.
What
And then
show?
next thing you know, I can't even come up with a name right now, but the next thing you know, I'm 3 episodes into it going, they think this sucks? This is
Yep.
cool.
Been there, done that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I got. Oh, I'm sorry. The one thing I forgot to mention is my story about being surrounded by 8 or 10 shadows on the wall.
Okay.
That is what a lot of people report when they're also saying that they've been abducted by aliens.
Yep.
Am I saying that I was abducted by aliens? No, because my wife was right next to me trying to wake me up the whole time. So I'm sure that she wasn't trying to wake up an empty mattress and I'm up in an alien ship getting probed or something. At least I hope that's the way it works.
I'm sorry, but that cracked me up.
So, but that's all I've got on it for tonight.
Yeah. There was one other thing that I was gonna say, and I'm trying to find it now. Maybe it was here. Oh, this is one that I'm gonna look a little more into on the night terrors aspect. But one case was of the child who saw quote unquote people in the room. And it said a case reported in pediatric sleep studies involved a young boy who would suddenly sit upright in bed, scream, point at a corner of his room, and cry that strangers were watching him. His parents repeatedly found him terrified, sweating, and difficult to comfort. By morning, he had no memory of the episode. Doctors determined he was experiencing night terrors rather than nightmares because he was still in a deep stage of sleep. So, kind of what you were saying, you know, a lot of people in the room standing around watching you.
Yep. Excuse me.
But that was the last thing I had, other than to once again say and sorry about that, apologize that for my communication issues.
I'm
don't
with
know.
Colin. If things go too smooth, it's not a podcast.
No.
Something's got to happen.
Well, and how long has it been since we've had a weird anomaly happen like this? Couple weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 2 or
I
3
mean, we've
weeks.
had
So
some glitches here and there, but so does
Yeah.
everybody. But we've never had
Nothing-
anything
nothing-
major for about a couple of weeks.
yeah, so either we were due for a malfunction or the NSA, FBI, other 3-letter agencies are finally getting sick of what I'm researching.
Yeah. Um,
So,
so
but that's all I had.
next week, or I'm sorry, next live episode.
I I know we had I was going through. I don't know if I know what we had talked about, but I kind of want to go through the rest of
Okay.
what I
We
have
will
written
let you
down.
guys know what the next episode is going to be tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, most likely tomorrow. One of us will make a post about it.
So yeah, we will post about it. We had something planned, but
Well, you know what?
our plans change. That's the great part about it is things change to the spur of the
Here,
moment, kind of like Mel's hole last week.
yeah, Steve, let's do this. Well, with the one that you said, I was thinking about the way you said it. Let's do that. Well, you choose that one. I'm totally fine with that. I've already started looking stuff up
Nope,
on it.
nope. I want to talk to you tomorrow about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
See,
Well,
there's the stuff I can sleep to. The
there you
ambulance
go.
is going by, the fire truck's going by.
Yeah. Um. Well, with that being said, we will let you guys know next week, or
Yep.
we will let you know about the next episode in the next day or two.
And don't forget Wednesdays, unless one of us has a memory problem or Alien Blorp gets involved, we drop the American Midnight Legends.
Yep.
And
Do
then
we
on
have?
Saturdays, we drop the Signal of the Week. So they're not live, they're recorded, but
Yep.
jump on board
And
and check them out. We've done a few good ones so far.
I mean, Steve, this is a live, so we can go ahead and I think say what our signal for tomorrow is.
Our signal for tomorrow is,
Third
you
man.
know, yeah, I know it's the third man theory.
Oh, I thought it was third man syndrome.
Or so sorry. See, that's why I had to look it up, and then I got a little overconfident, didn't look it up. The third man syndrome.
Okay, and then so that will be
That
out
drops
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
And what about have we discussed a legend for next
The
week?
legend for next week is going to be the Gothic hanging jail down in
That is right.
Louisiana.
Yep. So that'll be next Wednesday. So everybody keep your eyes open for that. As Steve likes to say, hit the little blort bell.
Yep. Hit that
And
like and subscribe.
yep, be notified of all our upcoming episodes.
Give us a
And
thumbs down if you don't like it. I wish there was a way that we could split it so you can give a thumbs up to Mike, a thumbs down to me, but hey, it
yeah,
is what it is.
I think it would be the opposite.
Oh
Um,
no. No.
but
Oh,
another thing I did want to bring up is
all the
I'm sure.
fans love a handsome man, Mike. All the fans love a handsome man.
Well, who the hell's the handsome man? I mean, is he in one of these?
You
Another
never
thing
know.
I
He could
wanted
be.
very well that I wanted to bring up is I'm sure everybody's noticed I've been posting stuff on Substack. So, Steve, you and I had in one of our episodes we had talked about something or got some pictures from somebody who uses Substack. And so it got me thinking because I had always wanted to use a blogging app. So I'm going to be posting stuff on there as well. And it's not just going to be links to our episodes, but it's just random little things. So if you want to give us a follow on there, great. And then again, like you mentioned, Twitch. So there are those out there that don't do YouTube or Facebook. So Twitch kind of broadens our audience a little bit more. So if you're there, check us out, send a follow.
Oh, and my wife has confirmed I was in bed. I was not getting probed.
Oh, I can't see it. So I see you
Uh,
reading something and I'm like,
oh, I'm reading about 12 different things. I keep getting these little pop-ups on the screen, and I'm trying to figure out what they are. I'm kind of worried that you're going to disappear in a black screen again, or mine's going to say, "Hey, your APU, your CPU is overheated."
yeah. So I just got a notice that says, we are both handsome fellows.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So, yeah, so catch our signal of the week on Saturdays. Catch the America's Midnight Legends when somebody doesn't, somebody actually remembers it's Wednesday, even though it's Thursday.
I
You're
The
welcome.
reason I found that out is I was on Substack and I was like, I'm going to post something for a new episode. I'm looking at all our stuff and I'm like, wait a minute. It is Thursday. Where the heck is our episode?
I laugh hard about it because the vice president of our company actually called me and said, "Hey, Steve, you going to join the Thursday meeting?" And I damn near said it on Thursday, not Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
So I was doing good.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yep. To our good friend Colin.
Thank you.
And the Horrific Podcast. I know we've said it a billion times and we'll keep saying it. If it wasn't for Colin, we wouldn't be here. He was the one guy that finally just said, "Hey guys, do it." Enough said, just do it. So if you want to follow Colin, we've actually got a link down in the description to his YouTube channel. And also down in the description is a link to our good friend Carl and Alien Mike's podcast, the Skogan Outdoor Podcast. Yep. Check that out. It was a pretty fascinating podcast this time, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, it's
but go give him some love. And congratulations to Colin on what was it, over 3,300 followers now. Yeah. So that is amazing.
Really good job. Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
I don't think so. I think I'm good. I'm gonna see if there's something going on with my computer when we're done. But
tell that alien blorp to keep his hands off of it.
He's right here.
Listen, dude.
And then here's a little baby blorp.
Hey, baby blorp, did you fix the tinfoil hat so his ears come through?
His little antenna? Yeah, I did. So now it doesn't come off.
That is perfect.
And honestly, I was looking at this today. If you go like this and you twist it a little bit, it looks like a little witch.
Alien blorp, baby blorp, welcome to the show and enjoy your hat. That is awesome.
And then I don't know if I showed this.
Please tell Alien blorp to keep the hands off the computers.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if I've ever showed this thing weighs like 5 pounds. My sister made this for me it was either Christmas or my birthday last year. It's a little alien stuffed animal she found, but she cut the back open and put one of those like rice packs heated things in it.
Okay.
And now it's all Velcroed, but yeah, like a little alien heat pad.
Oh,
but
nice.
He just sits up here and joins the rest of them, and yeah. And then I got to figure out what to do with this big poster I've got. I know,
yeah, Steve. It's hard. I want to see that poster up on the screen, but it's kind of hard when you got that beautiful backdrop there too.
Yeah. Well, when my cousin was here from Scotland, we went to, or he told me he had gone to the University Avenue Mall, and he knew that I had the Mulder Funko Pop, and he wanted to get me another one, but he didn't know which one, so he didn't buy it. So we went to the same store at Gateway. They didn't have it. We went to the one at Valley Fair Mall. They didn't have it. So the guy called University so we could go down there, and they were in transit. Like they were sending them to Gateway. So we just missed out. But while I was there, I found this huge, there we go. Huge poster, but where to put it, I don't know. So I don't know.
So Colin, we would love to come on and do another cheesy movie again.
Yes.
So we are open to doing it anytime. Just got to find that right movie. And as much as I thought mine was the right movie, the movie you found, Colin, you took the cake. That was the best movie for us to do.
Oh yeah.
Anything that starts out right after the an opening credits with a sex scene.
I was so thrown off by that. I was like, what in the heck?
Yeah, I was too.
Almost called Colin and went, serious? What are we watching here? Debbie Does Dallas? Come on now.
This is
It was
not any
great.
alien movie I know.
I mean,
So.
somebody's getting probed, but not in the way I thought.
Yeah. So
But
I
yeah.
guess with that being said, you got nothing else?
I don't.
Stay spooky.
And keep watching the skies. Thank
We'll
you,
see you
everyone.
guys next time.